Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center. It's time to show you the new stuff for this week. I got it all right here in front of me, so let's check it out. So the first thing I want to show you is this big monstrous sword. Now this is not actually metal, it's a high density foam. We got a flat grind, sort of a canvas wrap on the handle. Actually, this is not for sale here. My wife got me this at the Halloween store, but I just love it so much. Wanted to share. Cool. Actually, the first real thing I wanted to share with you today is the MKM Cove Era. Now, this was just released this week. It's a really cool knife. It was designed by Jesper Vaknes, and it was built by MKM, that Maniago knife makers label, specifically their Makita sub-brand. It's a partnership of a few different Maniago knife makers. And immediately, as soon as you hold this up, you can tell that this was made by Lion Steel, because there's a couple of key details with this knife that are right up the Lion Steel book of plays, or playbook, whatever you want to call it. So the first thing you'll notice, apart from the really cool looking titanium handle, is the crown spine on this M390 blade. Blade itself, it's a really broad drop point, has a nice flow to it, and it's just under 3 inches of length. So if that's important for where you live or where you work, if you have sort of blade length restrictions of 3 inches, this is gonna fit the bill, and you still have a really broad blade, really strong steel that's gonna take care of you. But that crown spine is the first clue to Lion Steel construction, and the second is the removable flipper tab, which is something that they sort of pioneered. Now you can see there on the back, we've got a small screw head, so you can take that off if you don't want it. Flips well with it, but if you're in a restriction that kind of frowns on two-handed or one-hand opening knives, you've got a fuller on each side of the spine of the blade, which acts sort of like a long pull on a slip joint. You can open it two-handed as well. But, and sorry to bust the bubble here, you can still actually open it with one hand. You kind of push your thumb up against there, and it still works. So that's kind of cool. It's a good little sneak around, so to speak. The handles on this knife are titanium. We've got bronze and typical gray titanium, but a couple other color options as well, or material options, I should say. There's micarta, G10, and carbon fiber also available on this knife. Makes it really cool. You've got a broad range of looks and styles. I really love this bronze titanium look. Got some real cool machining, some nice faceting, semi-floating backspacer, machined titanium pocket clip. Awesome, awesome modern Italian-made flipper. Prices on these were at $207 for the G10 and the micarta, $259 for the carbon fiber and the titanium models. Like a lot of high-end knives, the Cove Era comes with a soft-sided case, but what's different about this than most is you've actually got belt loops on the back. So you could use that to carry your knife, you could use that to carry some extra gear. Even if you're not carrying it when you'd be carrying this knife, I think this would make a really cool little pouch to take outdoors. You could have some extra fire starting gear, emergency gear, first aid. Makes it real easy to carry. So the other really big news this week is we've got a bunch of new stuff from Boker. They've sent out their fall release products, and we've got a bunch. Got a few of them here in front of me. I'm probably going to show you a few more next week so we can kind of filter through some of them, keep it more manageable. But the first is the Takara front flipper from Kansei Matsuno. Really, really cool interpretation of his custom models, which we also have here at the Knife Center. You can check those out. But this is the production version, and we're at $104.96 on this, and there are 3 different handle options. My favorite by far is the Cocobolo. We've also got G10 and carbon fiber available. And let me just check the prices on those real quick. The G10, we're at about $95, $96. And on the carbon fiber, we're just over $112, but $105 on this Cocobolo one. Another knife with some really cool lines. We've got sort of a modified sheep's foot blade, a little bit of an upsweep to the edge, D2 steel, and it comes with a really nice horizontal grain, which is something Boker does on a lot of their models, especially the Boker Plus models, I should say. Overall, a really classy look, I think. Makes a great gentleman's folder. It is a liner lock, and you've got a couple of different opening options there. As I said at the top, it was a front flipper, so you've got the tab there at the front, which has some really ornate jimping going on. Or it's not quite jimping, it's sort of, well, we'll let the close-ups tell the story. But you can open that front flipper fashion, and I'm typically not a huge front flipper guy. Sometimes I find them a little awkward to use, but that's not the case with this one. It opens up really nicely. And we've also got the tab right there at the back that can be used as a traditional flipper tab. Just sticks forward instead of out, kind of like some of the Elijah Isham stuff we've been seeing recently. In addition to that, you can do the lighter flick as well, works very nicely. But that really cool bit of kind of decorative jimping here, it's functional too, but the decorative look with the crown spine makes it a really classy presentation, especially with the Kokobolo. And it's got a pocket clip just like the custom Kansei Matsuno's. It's got the leather tab or leather fob here at the back, just like those customs, but at a really great price. So next up is the Yukon folding knife. And this is a model I'm really excited about for a few reasons. First is it's affordable. We're at about $56 for this. And it's gonna make a really cool outdoorsy, wood carving, hard-working knife, really, for more than just outdoorsy stuff, despite the name Yukon. We've got 440C steel. Again, it's got that horizontal grain finish, which is really nice too. I just, when we're doing these videos, we kind of have to wipe the blades down, and when the grain's going this way, we sometimes have to wipe this way. This makes it very easy to just wipe the blade off, and that's something you'll probably appreciate too when it comes to clean the blade. 440C steel, like I said, you got a small hole to open it, and we've got G10 handles with a lockback. So there's no pocket clip on this knife, but there is a hidden lanyard attachment point, which you can use to if you want to clip it to something or you want to make it easier to pull out of your pocket or a little pocket sheath, that sort of thing. But the reason I'm excited that this doesn't have a clip is take a look at the contouring of that G10 handle. I mean, that is just phenomenal. I mean, pocket clips are great. They make pocket knives convenient to carry, makes it easy to get in and out of your pocket, but they can form a bit of a hot spot now and then. This, with no pocket clip and contouring like that, is so daggone comfortable. It just melts right into my hand. Nothing to get in the way. The only real hot spot, so to speak, which again, all folders kind of suffer from this, is the opening here on the back if you're gripping really hard. But man, as far as folders go, this has to be one of the more comfortable folders I've ever held. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, 56 bucks, just over 56 bucks. Makes it a really, really cool knife for anything that you're putting a lot of hand pressure on. Like the first thing that comes to mind is woodworking, whittling, and doing some of those kind of like bushcraft and carving tasks. But anything, whether you're powering through cardboard, really bearing down on some heavy material, really cool knife, Boker plus Yukon. So the next one I want to show you is a fixed blade, and it's called the Micro Caiman. Caiman like the alligator relative. So the reason I wanted to show you this knife specifically in front of some of the other new stuff we got from Boker is that in website pictures, this looks like a much bigger knife. But as you can see, it's more of an EDC sized knife. It's at just over 56 bucks, 440C steel, kind of similar to that Yukon folder in terms of materials and price wise. But check out that really cool handle. We've got orange G10 with black bolsters and black liners. And despite having that shape that looks like it's just a scaled down version of a full-size fixed blade, it's kind of a 3-finger design or 2.5 depending on your hand size. It doesn't fit my hand perfectly, but I do have slightly bigger fingers, but it's still pretty comfortable. My third finger kind of sits right on the bird's beak there. But it's a really stylish little piece, and it's easy to carry every day too, if you were so inclined. You've got a Kydex sheath to go along with it. And in addition to that, you've got a modular belt attachment. At first glance, it may look a little bit like a tech lock, but this is actually a flexing thing. You can put it on and off your belt. But thanks to this little tab here in the bottom, it's not likely to just slip off either, which is pretty handy. You don't want to be losing your knife. But with that, you can carry it inside the waistband if you want. You could carry it scout carry, small your back. Sky's the limit. Or you can just throw that around your neck with a lanyard and you're good to go. But it's a really cool knife. Thought you'd want to see it. Boker plus Caiman. So we're going to keep with the small theme now, and I'm going to show you the g.sakai money clips, which I think are really cool. Most money clips are kind of, yeah, okay, whatever. But this one actually uses really good materials and it looks fancy, and it doesn't cost a whole lot either. We're at $58 on these, and we get VG10 steel with stainless steel handles with a frame lock and a broad clip, so it's going to work well as a money clip. Frame lock, like I said, but check out the patterning on this knife itself. We've got a couple of different patterns available. They are made in Japan, so the artwork itself is definitely Eastern inspired like that. This one is the snowy Kinkakuchi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a really fine looking pattern, and there's sort of a crinkle texture on top of it. We'll see how well we can get that to pick up in photos. But in addition to that, we've got some other Eastern inspired artwork. There's a mountaintop. We've even got a Damascus bladed version as well, which is also really cool. But I think in addition to being a really neat, unobtrusive EDC, you could use it as a money clip. You can stick it in that 5th jean pocket. These are also going to make really cool gifts because it's kind of, money clips, like I said, they tend to be seen sometimes as a novelty, but I think they're a great gift item. And when they're built well like this, they're definitely worth it. And these aren't that expensive, like I said. Actually, this one right here is $58, but we've got ones as low as $53, up to on about just under $70 for like that Damascus one. Really cool, really affordable, awesome gifts, g.sakai money clips. So the next one is the VDK Talisman folding knife. Another fancier, so to speak, knife. We've got milled titanium handles, or sculpted actually, I would say. I wouldn't quite say milled, although technically it probably is the way they make it. But really cool facets that create a really dynamic look with that trailing point harpoon point trailing point style blade. Really cool. M390 steel, black stonewashed finish, and we've got a few different handle colors, green, purple, and blue. But it feels really good. You can choke up on that thanks to that harpoon style. It's a frame locking knife, not a flipper actually. You've got the thumb studs, which you can see are a little bit away from the pivot, so you can actually get really good leverage on these knives. Makes it a really cool carry. These are at just under $300, but we've also got versions with a Mokutai clip as opposed to the titanium here. Those are of course a little bit more expensive. We're at about $380 with those. But overall, definitely a statement piece and built really well. I really like them. It's not the only VDK we have this week though. We also have the new, a limited edition Mini War Admiral as well. This is a really cool pocket cleaver style knife. Premium materials, starts just under the price is just under $300. Got an M390 blade, under 3 inches again. So if you have one of those knife restrictions, if you're subject to knife restrictions under 3 inches, this will fit the bill. But a really broad, really cool blade. Like I said, M390 steel, and it's got a black stonewashed finish. And the stonewashing is kind of really subtle. It doesn't pick up, it doesn't shout stonewashed as much as some finishes like Kershaw's blackwash, which also looks cool, but it's definitely a different style. Titanium frame with sort of stepped ridges along the back, matching finish to the blade, and carbon fiber inlays. But really impressed with these knives. It's, again, a really cool style piece, like a lot of stuff this week. That MKM, that Boker Kansei Matsuno, this other VDK, they all make a statement when you pull them out of your pocket. Deploys nice and quickly. You've got that really cool blade. And in addition to that, we've actually got the full-size War Admiral as well. It's not this limited edition, but a few different anodized colors, a stonewashed satin two-tone blade at $350. So you can check those out as well if you want an even bigger presence when you pull a War Admiral out of your pocket. Next up is another knife with a really wicked blade shape that definitely makes an impression. This is the Microtech Hawk Automatic. Now they talk about this being a karambit style blade in an automatic format. Of course, you don't get the ring on the back, but the knife feels really good in a reverse grip. You know, when you're forward grip, there's enough to hold on to, but there's a little bit extra sticking out back here because that makes a great place for your thumb when you're in that reverse grip. Feels really good. I'm not martially trained, but I really feel like I could move very confidently with this knife, holding it like so. And you also see we've got a glass breaker on the back as well. Now this is a Microtech, so you know the automatic action is very good. We've got a wide button here on the side to fire it. And that wide button makes it real easy to find, especially if you're wearing gloves. It's very easy to find the button. You're not going to be hunting for it. Real easy to find it, fire it out, and you're ready to rock. Steel right now on these is CTS 204P, but that changes subject to availability. Sometimes when new batches come in, that'll swap a little bit. But right now, 204P with a stonewashed finish, and we're at $450 on this knife. Check it out, it's really cool. So next up, we've got another new Leatherman. Last week we had the free series to show you, but now we've got a new version of the Charge Plus multi-tool that is perfect for hunters, maybe even military service members, or anyone who doesn't want their multi-tool to stand out, this version is the way to go. In addition to the camouflage pattern handles, we've also got black coated tools all throughout. The pliers, all the inside tools, the blades, everything. So it's not going to reflect the way the shiny metal surfaces of the other knives or the other multi-tools can. But it's still the Charge Plus. You've still got all the great tools that those knives have. The outside accessible blades, as well as file and saw. And of course, open it up. You've got the pliers, you've got the replaceable wire cutter teeth there, all the inside tools that lock. And being a Charge Plus, this is 154 cm steel as well, unlike the Wave, which comes with their 420 HC. So you're getting that more premium cutting experience with it. We're at 139 or just under 140 with this knife, or with this multi-tool. It also comes in a separate baggie. You've got the small bit kit, not a full kit, but you've got, let's see, 6 different two-sided bits there, in addition to the one that comes in the multi-tool, as well as the pocket clip and carabiner hardware there. It comes also with their nylon sheath. You've got the pocket for the tool. You've got a pocket behind it where you can hide those bits, and 2 elastic straps on either side, smaller on this side, a little bit bigger there. And you've got the belt loop on the back. Isn't set up for horizontal, it's vertical carry belt clip, or belt loop. Same cool snap closure as all the modern Leatherman, most of the modern Leatherman sheaths come with, so there you go. So with the camo handles, that's kind of a hunting knife, you could say, or hunting multi-tool. So let's go to a hunting knife. We've got a new iteration of the SE Knives Ashley game knife. I always have to kind of check on that. This is an Ashley Emerson design. He's a big game hunter on, I believe, several continents. But where this is different from the original version that came out, which had micarta scales, we've got orange G10 here. Orange, of course, is a really popular color for hunters. It's that safety blaze orange type of vibe. And hunting season, if it's not already going on where you are, it's right around the corner. So this is a really cool blade. We're at about 3.5 inches, 1095 steel, with a black stonewashed finish, just like the first version. But it's a really, really nice shape to be easily controlled. You can get in fine detail work. You've got a continuous curve to the edge, so it's going to be make a nice sweeping cuts when you're skinning. A little bit of a hump there, like a drop point, or even like a proto Nessmuck, so you can get in under there and lift the tip up. And it all carries very nicely in a brown leather sheath. We're at 100 or just under $100 on this knife. And if you don't like that orange, you can still get that micarta version as well. Made in USA, no questions asked, lifetime warranty. You can't go wrong with an SE knife, and I like this one a lot. So let's say you get a prized animal on your hunt. You're gonna need to take it back. If you're not paying to get it butchered, you might have to do some of that yourself. So we've got a couple new kitchen knives this week that might help you out. The first is the Kai Pro 7-inch cleaver. Now, if you don't know who Kai is, they're actually the parent company for a few different labels. Zero Tolerance, Kershaw, and the Shun kitchen knives are all Kai, all in the Kai family. But the Kai branded knives specifically, you typically get pretty good quality for not a bad price. This cleaver here is at $35 right now. But what's there to say about it? You know, it's a nice cleaver, 7-inch blade. We're at about 3/16 of an inch thick. And it is stainless steel. They don't actually tell us what the steel is, but again, it's $35 and you're getting a big hunk of it. Yeah, it should smash through some stuff really nicely, smash through bone. You've got synthetic handles, but the Kai stuff, we've always liked what they offer for the price. I see no reason to expect this is going to be any different. So there you go, really cool cleaver at a good price. Lastly, we've got a 2-pack of Henkel's knives. Now, both of these knives are available separately, but they are selling these right now in a 2-pack configuration. What's nice about that is you can get both of these knives at a lower price than you could get them separately. Especially right now, we've got them at a special price of just $100. We've got 2 7-inch knives, a Pro Chef's knife, which is a typical German style of chef's knife, as well as a rocking Santoku knife, which kind of bridges the gap between Eastern and Western style kitchen knives. It has sort of a Santoku shape. It has a nice kind of clip shape to it. So it's got a really good style, and it rocks better than a lot of Santokus are typically set up to do, because you have more belly out there near the tip. Apart from that, you've got the same triple riveted construction that most Henkel's knives come with. And I really like the bolster on these knives. If you remember the Apogee knives we talked about last week, it's got an angled bolster here, which encourages a proper pinch grip, and the bolster doesn't go all the way down to the edge, which means you've got the whole entire edge of this knife is usable, and it's going to sharpen more easily over time. So they're really cool. I like these too. I like kitchen knives. I like fixed blades. But that's a really good deal, especially right now at just under $100. So that's all the new stuff I've got to show you this week. This isn't all the new stuff we got this week though. So be sure to check out our new items section on our website, where you can see even more. And you can see even more stuff on our newsletters as well if you want to sign up for those. And you'll see them sooner than these videos come out too. So you'll have the first jump on stuff. Every once in a while, we'll have something come out on our new items newsletter, which goes out every Monday, and it'll be sold out before I even get to show you guys here. So you don't want to miss out on some of that stuff. But be sure to let us know what you thought of all of this stuff here. And if you want to get your hands on any of them, click the links in the description to head over to KnifeCenter.com.
Okay. What are we going to do if you make it all the way through and don't really make any big mess ups?
I didn't do too bad today, did I?
Yeah.
Oh wait, my video producer is telling me we need a blooper.
There's one.
Bye.